Hello everyone, once again welcome to Alka. Today in this video I am going to talk about brain development. How brain develops from birth to adulthood. Before I begin, please take a moment to subscribe my channel for more and more content like this. Also do not forget to like and share this video. Please continue watching this video till end because the content I am going to share is very informative. So let's begin. When the baby is born, it responds to touch. It responds to hunger. Actually, it starts responding right from the time of birth. And the only way to communicate is crying. We all know that babies cry their lungs out. So what is this actually connected? How is this all connected with brain? Because everything is done with the help of brain. Brain does it all. Our senses work with the help of brain. What happens is when a baby is born, it has all the brain cells that are needed for rest of their lives. What are brain cells? Brain cells are actually functional and structural unit of brain. To know more about brain cells that are also known as neurons, please click on the I button and get the information about neurons, the connections and how these connections are made, how they work. Let us come back to baby's brain. When the baby responds, the neurons, the nerve cells that are present inside the brain, they start connecting with each other. We give a stimulus to the babies, actually to baby's brain. They in turn respond. We give a stimulus to the babies, actually to baby's brain. They in turn respond. You have noticed it that when we touch a baby actually recognizes mother's touch. Anybody other than mother who picks the baby up, the baby starts crying. Why? Because the baby's brain works that much that it can recognize its mother's touch. So what happens is when we give stimulus and the baby responds, the connections are made. It is actually about the connections. When we talk about brain development, it does not mean that new cells are being made. It is that new connections are made. More the connections, more the development is. More we talk to the baby, more we give stimulus to the babies, more it responds and more the connections are made. So the development of the baby's brain is actually about connections between the nerve cells, how one nerve cell is connected to other and how the information is passed from one neuron to another. It is actually included in brain. Now let's move a bit deeper. Why these connections are important? Because of brain development. But how these connections can be made? Early childhood, that is from 0 to 5 years. It is the best time to build these connections. At the brain development, the development of connections, everything is done in these early childhood years from 0 to 5 years. And these years are the best opportunity to explore. Why we always stress, why I am in my previous videos I have stressed on brain development exercises from fine motor skills, gross motor skills and other problem solving skills, that why these skills are to be developed in babies. Why I always stress on these kind of activities? Because these activities are important for connections of the brain, and if connections are made, then the brain development occurs at the fastest. That is why these preschools, Montessori approach, they always take that way that students learn, they explore, they find opportunities in their environment only. They learn problem solving skills at early age because these skills once acquired at this age are useful for rest of their life. Scientists call it serve and return. Serve and return. Now, serve and return. You must have heard this word serve and return in tennis game, and when it's like back and forth reaction. We give and we take back. It is just like that. We talk to babies, we read to babies, we sing to babies, we play with them. We are serving them something, and in return they are responding to whatever we are doing. This is serve and return. More the serve and return occurs, more connections are made and more brain development occurs. The more opportunities we give our children to explore the world, the more the brain architecture is affected. Yes, it is all about brain architecture, how we are going to respond, give stimuli to the proper stimulus to the children and how they are responding. Now the question arises, there are many discussions that intelligence, the brain development, this all depends upon heredity. Yes, heredity is one of the factors that affect intelligence and brain development, but genes provide only the blueprint of the brain architecture. The rest is done with the opportunities, with the environment. That is why we always say that heredity and environment play both play important role in development of a child, especially brain development. Genes provide the blueprint for the architecture, and we need to strengthen that architecture. We need to provide more and more connections to the brain, so that this is just like we are having a layout of a building, and the architect has already given the layout of a building, and we are boosting that layout, we are enriching that layout with the help of interior designing, just as simple as that. So what makes a house beautiful? It is just because both of the architecture and the designing. So it is like this only. We have a blueprint and we have to work on that blueprint to make it more and more functioning, to make more and more effective. Now let us talk more about serve and return. Children serve adults with the help of eye contact, the facial expressions, and adults, the caregivers, parents, they return that serve in the form of responses, in the form of messages. When these messages are interchanged, these messages are exchanged between the children and the adults, this actually affects the building block of the brain. These actually make the building blocks of the brain. Serve and return actually affect how our genes are expressed. We all have DNA, we all are having all these things, genes, chromosomes, DNA. But how these genes are expression is also important. We are having something and we are not able to express that thing, that is of no use. So how genes are expressed, that is to be worked upon. So these experiences, these environmental stimuli, the opportunities, everything affect how our genes are expressed, and this happens early in the childhood from 0 to 5 years. That is why it is always stressed to give more and more opportunities to early to the children, and why preschooling is very important. We need to choose the preschools very wisely, because preschools are the foundations of the rest of education. So I hope this helps. Do not forget to like and share this video with your family and friends. There is a complete playlist on my channel that includes pocket-friendly, budget-friendly activities that will actually help in building up the connections, in building up the brain architecture of your child. Subscribe to my channel for more and more content like this. Thank you and have a nice day.